Hello, subscribers, and welcome back to Does It Suck? The Beyond the Box Office podcast series where we trawl the dank, dark depths of the Internet Movie Database user reviews to find one-star reviews for movies that, let's be fair, everyone considers classics. And we'll see what kind of random hot takes we find, and if any of these one-star reviews have any merit. Be sure to give the video a like and share it with your mates. I'm Steve. Joining me, as always, is Sam. How's it going?
Yeah, good.
You all right?
Yeah, not bad. It is a hot summer's day in England, and what better than sitting in the dark corner of a room talking about movies in stupid heat?
Why not? Okay, speaking of dry heat, today's film, Aliens.
Yep.
Universally, well, as far as I was concerned, universally considered one of the greatest movies ever made. I mean, it's a hands down masterpiece. Cinematography, boom, master, 10 out of 10. Score, 10 out of 10. Special effects, 10 out of 10. Performances, 10 out of 10. The tightness of the script, 10 out of 10. The themes explored, 10 out of 10. The extension to the story and the way it adds to the mythos, the lore of the Alien universe started with Ridley Scott, 10 out of 10. However, not everyone feels that way. Strangely, though, there are some one-star reviews on IMDb, and let's take a look at them. Sam, what have you got? What's the first one? Because you pulled these reviews up to this week, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, I got some classics. We were aiming for two, but I chucked a third one in there because it's quite short, but I couldn't not include this one. But the first one we're going to go for is by someone called DDFCMP8. And this review is from the 7th of June, 2006. And the title to this is not even half of the first one. And there's a spoiler warning, because if you hadn't seen Aliens, why would you go on IMDb and start reading user reviews 30 years after the film came out before you watch the actual film?
Because this is pretty much a month shy of 30 years.
Yeah, this guy thinks he's like, or this girl, guy, whoever, thinks they are like the ultimate critic, and they're like, oh, people are going to check out my review before they watch the film if they've not seen it before. Okay,
so this one's from 2006. So this is probably, I don't know, because what we've tried to do, as we explained in episode 1, was we're trying to avoid as many reviews from the last few years as possible when people found it really funny to troll and generate clickbait on social media. So 2006, this seems pretty clean, I'd say.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll jump straight into it.
Yeah.
So starting off, I'm sorry to disagree with about 90% of this website, but I did not find this sequel to be anything but a rehash of the first. Not only is it a rehash, but it's also brought to life some of the really dumb stereotypes that exist in movies today. I mean, first of all, Aliens is not a rehash of Alien.
No, it's a natural progression, organic progression of the story. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, what do you want with sequels to things? Sequels are going to have some semblance to the original. Yeah. Otherwise, they just be an original film. But where a story leaves off, Aliens picks up and does something special with it.
Yeah.
It's not just... I mean, arguably, Alien 3 is more of a rehash.
Well. We'll save it for later on. But
in some respect.
Yeah. No, but, I can't... There's not one point of when I first watched Aliens, or even today watch Aliens and think, God, this is a little bit more of the samey, It's not at all.
I mean, okay, I love Die Hard 2, but Die Hard 2 is more of a rehash kind of sequel.
Yeah, it is.
Do you know what I mean? The story is perfectly closed at the end of Die Hard, and they take the basic premise, and now it's, John McClane in an airport, the same shit happening to the same guy all over again.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Alien and Alien saying that it's like comparing, I don't know, Psycho, where there's a single killer stalking them, to Saving Private Ryan, where it's all out war.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Psycho, you could say, people, you would never say that Psycho 2 is a rehash of Psycho
Yeah, so,
but Psycho 2 is one of the best sequels ever made because it naturally extends the story of the first film and explores different themes with those characters in those settings.
Psycho 2 and 3 are so far from the original, but they're enjoyable in their own way. They're nowhere near as good as the original. You know, that would be an insult to cinema. But
not to get off track, but Psycho 2, I feel Psycho 2 is just about almost as good. Anyway,
yeah, that's a big but yeah. All right, so continuing review. Some of the really oh no, we covered that.
No,
crummy
dumbass stereotypes that exist in movies today. I'm assuming he's talking about the Space Marines.
Mm.
You know, end of the day,
30 years after the film's released, and he's
30
talking
years
about
after the films come out. Yeah,
he's talking
first
about
of all,
dumb
Aliens,
stereotypes that exist in films today.
Aliens is one of the most influential films of all time, so it did indeed leave its mark on cinema. But the stereotypes, they are there for a reason. The Marines are by design supposed to be like that because, again, much like Predator lures you in to a false sense of security, Aliens is doing the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. You know, in the first one, you're like, you know, there was one of them, she was under armed and things like that. Whereas this one, you're like, fucking hell, they're taking the whole army in this, or they're taking an army, and you know, these creatures are not going to have a chance. They're just going to get blown away by these bloody warriors.
And that's the point, to make the Marines really stereotypical. But also so you can instantly grab the characters, because although Aliens does take like an hour before you get into any kind of action, you need to grasp all those characters quickly because it is a big cast.
Yeah.
You know, and you need to get to know them within seconds. And James Cameron is the master at doing that. And yeah, the stereotypes, because they are, what does it say here? Dialogue that is fixed to sound cool and awesome in the times it was made or something. It's like, no. The point of the dialogue of most Marines is to make them look like fucking big idiots and fools when they fail, because they do. That's the whole point of the characters of like Drake and Vasquez and Hudson, especially. They think they are so cool and hard, and that the aliens are going to pose no threat whatsoever. So James Cameron accentuates that, and then it's the fan.
This brings you to the next line: crummy dialogue. What is fixed to sound cool and awesome, or in with the times, and you know what? It isn't. It's now like he's jumped the complete opposite direction in their review. The first they were saying, oh, you know, he's talking about, you know, I've got no words to describe it. Now he's sitting there slating it, saying, you know, it's not in with the times. It's basically the dialogue is cool and awesome, but it's old-fashioned. But it's a 30-year-old film.
Yeah, you can't sort of go back to a 30-year-old film. But like I said previously, it's by design. Nothing in Aliens is a mistake except for Bishop in a cryochip at the start of the film.
Yeah.
So where's it go? So, but you know, the thing is, some people hold up higher than the first. Well, actually, there are two main camps. Yeah. There's the camp that says Alien is the better film, and the camp that says Aliens is the better film. And to be fair, both camps are right. It's personal taste on that, because they are two 10 out of 10 masterpiece films that pretty much within their own sort of like context cannot be improved upon. They deliver everything they set out to do. So it's just a question of taste. Do you like straight out kind of haunted house survival horror, or do you prefer the more action survival horror? Because at the end of the day, they're still both survival horrors with like hardcore thriller aspects to them.
And as Randy from Scream says, Scream 2, there's no accounting for taste, in which you say which one is better.
There is not with that, not with Alien and Aliens. You know, if you think Alien is better, you're right. If you think Aliens is better, you're right.
If you think Alien Resurrection is better, you're right.
Then fuck off. Get out the airlock.
Yeah. So let's move on.
Okay.
Now, before you dismiss the rest of my review, too late. That was my addition there. Too late.
You're dog meat, pal.
Yeah. I want to add that I tried to like this film for a long time while I tried to find some cool ways to see it. And you know what? I thought I had for a while, but
What do you mean, cool way to see it, or upside down?
yeah, but but the way he starts talking now,
But
listen to this. Listen to this.
For kids.
And you know what? I thought I had for a while, but the thing is that so many people hold it up higher than the first, and I just can't see why. I guess I would be more open to give it a second chance, but people keep saying it's better than the first, and I just don't agree. I think I'll leave that next bit. But fuck it, it's like he's having an argument with himself in his own head. So I wanted to like it. I tried a cool way to try and find to like it.
As far as I'm concerned, if you prefer Alien, again, like I said, you're right. If you prefer Aliens, you're right. But when you're completely wrong is when you like Alien but hate Aliens, or if you like Aliens but hate Alien. Yeah, that don't make sense. Anyway, right. What's the dumbest thing towards the end of this?
I think it was alright until the shock sequence. She might have something in her stomach, and just a dream. How cheap! Why would they even rely on that much on the first? What do you mean? I don't sound what?
It's a cheap cop out, isn't it? It's a cheap cop out for
like, oh no,
Ripley
we've seen this before. It's just a dream.
Dreams like that. They are cheap cop outs. However, this is 1986.
They're not Alan from Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, they're not as cheap in 1986 as they were in the noughties.
Especially since it had been a good 6 or 7 years already. Jeez, I just thought that was a mistake. I just thought that was a mistake. Number one. Next, the film was quite intriguing, but that was because they discussed the original's damages. I just can't say when I lost it.
Do you know what? I'm giving up on this one.
Yeah,
I've just read this line. Why not have the original beast find its way to Earth? Right? You know what? No, that's just like really. So you're telling me your better sequel to Alien would be the xenomorph that Ripley kicks out of the escape pod that goes wow and flies off into space. Somehow swims its way, or hitches a ride on Halley's Comet, and this is right. Let's move on.
Out bloody speeds the ship that's heading back.
Oh my god! I think
you can't sit there and say a film's bad and it's not as good as the original without giving reason why it's bad and why it's not better than the original. You know, you can't
fair enough.
I think it's crap. Why do you think it's crap? Because it just is. You know,
I don't know. No. I mean, fair enough. They have given some reasons, but they're completely wrong.
Yeah.
Speaking of wrong reasons, let's move on quickly to the second review because that one's ridiculous. This one is. I mean, I can't even believe you sent this to me. This is the one titled "Absolute Garbage" in all caps.
All right. Okay.
Oh my god! Right, you just read this one, and I'm going to try and stay quiet for as long as possible before I lose my shit.
Okay, so Absolute Garbage, 15th of April 2018. Jennifer Darby or Jennifer A. Darby. Another spoiler warning. Now we're 33 years.
Don't try and do the maths on this.
No, we already screwed the maths up on the first one. That would have
I know we did. Yeah,
I said it wrong, and you were like, "Yeah, 30 years."
Yeah, I know. Well, I didn't want to question you really. To be fair, it's 20 years, but there we go. Yes, now we're
Okay, so
now we're in the pipe approaching. Yeah, we're now over 30 years.
Yeah. Okay, this has to be so far the worst WROST in capitals in the series. First of all, is this person watching it in chronological order? So, as they've said, this has got to be the worst so far. So she's only watched Alien and Aliens.
No, they can't. No, they can't be watching in chronological order. They literally must have watched them all. But to be fair, as this review goes on, I don't think they've even seen the film. I honestly believe, as this review goes on, they have not sat there and watched the film all the way through, or they're getting confused between a couple of them. They're blurring in their memory.
Okay. I am split on this and Alien 3, so clearly they haven't watched Resurrection. Maybe that's why they said so far, on which is one
Maybe.
is worse. First of all, there is a cat. I hate cats. Deal with it.
Oh no! What deal with it?
What's the deal with it?
This is what, right? Okay, this is the first inkling that the review's a joke. The second inkling is later in the review, the attention placed on the cat. Jonesy is barely in Aliens. You know, Jonesy is barely an alien, for crying out loud. Do you know what I mean? But Jonesy is pretty much gateway station. There's Jones, and it's you know. So what is it? See you later. You know, little. You know, you stay out of trouble, you little shithead. And Ripley's off. That's it. How can you hate a masterpiece film because there's a cat?
Yeah,
that's some issues we cannot help you with there.
Second is Bill Paxton's worst role in the film. Are they talking about
the entire?
Yeah,
I think the entire world will agree it's Bill Paxton's best role.
Yeah.
It's his greatest role. He shines like a king in this film.
I cannot believe they made an embarrassment of the talent he has in this film. Well, they didn't make any embarrassment because one, that's a bullshit statement, and two, this was one of his earliest roles, so he hadn't done any of them highly regarded great performances that they're more than likely referring to.
Do you know what the funniest thing about that statement?
What's that?
Is that James Cameron pretty much gave Bill Paxton carte blanche with Hudson. Hudson is Bill Paxton. Game over, man, game over. Nearly all of his iconic lines and little sort of like spiels were improvised, or him like sort of like reinterpreting the dialogue to what he wanted to do. Hudson, Bill Paxton was not forced to do Hudson how he did Hudson. Bill Paxton, it's his great. It is everything that made Bill Paxton one of the greatest, most beloved actors of all time in one film. Christ, if it was so embarrassing that you know, for him, why did he pretty much play the same character in Near Dark and True Lies and most of his other films?
Bill Paxton, Hudson is basically Chet from Weird Science, gone to space.
Yeah, Bill Paxton. He owns it. You know, no one forced him to waste his talent. He was an extremely talented actor, and it was phenomenal because Hudson is the core of that film. Hudson is why Aliens works, because other than Ripley and sort of like Hicks and you know sort of like the characters you're following, Hudson is this voice throughout the film that starts off as, oh yeah, we're going to take them down. We got nukes, we got knives, we got sharp sticks. He encapsulates the whole theme that the Marines are going into a situation that they think is, you know, they cannot lose. It's the whole Vietnam theme, the American exceptionalism that we've got the best tech, therefore we will win. We don't even have to try. Hudson represents that, and it's Hudson as well who has the biggest sort of like, he's brought down to earth the hardest with the game over, and with why don't you put her in charge and stuff, you know. Throughout the entire film, it's almost why, you know, Aliens is brilliant, but when Hudson goes, that is one of the most gut-wrenching movie deaths.
You're like, no, I didn't think he would go.
Yeah, because although you kind of
so
expect
close
it,
to the end as well.
Yeah, I mean, the heart is like the aliens literally rip the heart out of the audience when Hudson goes. So don't insult Bill Paxton, because Bill Paxton gave everything to that role, and it stands the test of time.
I'm just over your shoulder, like, yeah. The whole time I watched this, I was hoping the cat would get eaten by an alien, but no. Oh, this is what I mean.
This is what I mean. The cat was barely in it.
That's what I mean. Imagine like freaking with
the whole
time on the planet in that like when they first go in and all the goo's on the wall and like there's people fucking entombed on the wall. Is that this person sitting there going, "Fuck, I hope the cat gets it." The cat's not even anywhere near them. It's like a gazillion light years away.
Yeah, the cat doesn't even make it away from Gateway Station.
Yeah,
doesn't even get to LV-426. This is what I'm saying. Like, have they watched the film?
No.
Are they thinking of Alien? where Jonesy's in it more, and is often, obviously he's in the little box and is probably more in harm's way. But oh my god, this is where as well this gets me. It's so the acting was cheesy. That's the point, because James Cameron plays it like that. But I thought I was watching a low budget sci-fi film the whole time. I've actually got news for you. You were. Aliens is a low budget sci-fi film. For the time, the budget of Aliens was a fraction of what they should have had for a project of that scale. That is just how bloody good everyone involved was. Because it looks like, I mean, what was the budget of Aliens? It looks like a $40-50 million film in like 1980s money.
Yeah, I think it was below 20 at the point.
Budget for
don't hold me to that.
18 million.
Yeah, I was right.
Yeah. 18 million, but it looks on par with Return of the Jedi a few years earlier, which was like 40 odd million.
Yeah, because it could make it so cheap because the futuristic planet and all of that they were on was just an old power plant in England.
Well, yeah, which they later reused for Batman 89.
Okay, this installment is pure trash and is definitely on my top 10 horrible movies of all time. I'd love to see what's on the other 9. Save your brain and eyes from absorbing this terrible piece of cinema. I'm so glad I didn't catch this in theatres, as I would demand a refund.
You'd be laughed at.
Give me my money back. The cat didn't get in.
What?
Even the cinema.
What cat?
Yeah. All copies of this should be burned, and I'd rather watch the Star Wars Holiday Special than endure the time I lost of my life watching this. What on earth was James Cameron thinking?
I think he was making one of the greatest sequels of all time and securing his legacy as a masterpiece director.
Yeah. Oh well.
Gee,
it's got to be.
That's
trolling.
That's got to be a troll review. There's no way that's real. Surely, there's no way. We just want to roll out this third one. Yeah, let's do. Okay, so the bonus review before we end this episode, because I'm getting really, as you can probably tell, getting really annoyed with these, because as everyone knows, I fucking love Aliens. It is hands down in my top 10 films of all time.
Yeah.
People have even taken the mick on the Facebook page, be on the box office Facebook page, give it a like. Anyway, cheap plug there. People have actually taken the mick on how many times I find an excuse to post about Aliens.
We get it. You love.
We get
Bill
it.
Paxton.
You love it. Yeah. Okay, so right.
What is the big deal? Netosaurs, 10th of March 2019.
So another possible troll review because it's 2019.
Okay, explosions, machine guns,
yep.
People trapped in a spaceship, and an alien on their pursuit. Seems to me like one of those Friday the 13th movies. What am I missing? I think you were missing the right DVD in the case, and you were watching Jason X.
Oh, that's got me. That one does. Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah, no, that I mean, no, okay. They fuck you at the drive-through. They fuck you at the drive-through. We get it because the strength of Alien, because Alien came out before, Friday the 13th, but just after Halloween. The strength of Aliens, and the strength of Predator, and also like Evil Dead 2, is that stalking tension. It's that. There's especially in sort of Alien and Predator, at the end of Predator, there are fewer characters, and it's a story. They're basically slashers almost. They follow slasher formula. So if you don't like slashers, then you might not like them. But at the same time, how the hell can you compare Aliens to any of the Friday the 13th films, again, which I like, but they are unapologetically cheap horror?
Yeah. I think this is just trolling. That's all I have to say about this review.
Well, we're always suspicious of any review after 2000 and what would you say, 13, 14?
Maybe. Especially, basically, any review on Aliens, which is a negative review, is
suspicious.
Yeah, unless they're talking about Bishop in the cryotube.
I mean, yeah, some of these are almost as funny as that Facebook comment that I saw on one of our Hocus Pocus posts that said Hocus Pocus. Well, it actually didn't even say Hocus Pocus. It just said a truly disgusting and scary film. This will never be allowed on in my house, and my kids will not be allowed to see it until 18 and have moved out. And I read it because it popped up on notifications, and I had to click to find out what post it had been written on, and it was Hocus Pocus. I'm not even sure it's PG-13. I think that's just flat out PG.
Yeah, there's nothing in it. It's about as scary as the decorations you see in a supermarket at Halloween.
I think if you're scared of Hocus Pocus, let's show you some of those Friday 13th films, eh?
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, okay, so right, Aliens, does it suck?
No.
Fuck no, of course it doesn't. It's like, you got to be absolute moron to think Aliens suck. I mean, I'd accept an 8 out of 10. I'd accept 7 out of 10 with good reason. But even then, you know, Aliens, no, you've got to be trolling or have just really sort of like, I don't know, not understood the film if you give it a 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
I mean, the film gets 5 out of 10 just for production design.
Yeah. It's a classic. It's so hard as well. Because you sit there and you think, oh, we're just loving it through nostalgia. But no, it's not. It's a fucking awesome film. Although Siskel and Ebert, that review that you sent earlier was a bit weird. That they're like, yeah, it's a good film, but they wouldn't recommend it based on it's too much overkill. But that's the whole point of the film.
It is. Aliens is a Michael Bay. No, that's kind of disingenuous. It's kind of like a Michael Bay film before Michael Bay films because it has that fourth act. You know, Aliens could naturally end when Ripley rescues Newt. That's it, over and done with. Yeah. I mean, technically, it could end. Newt doesn't even have to go get and fall down through the spinny thing into the like the sewer.
Yeah,
they could have just got out, and that would have been enough. I mean, you can't. Aliens is relentless, but it's not because it takes like especially if you're watching a special edition. It's like an hour before they even get into the hive.
Yeah.
And then there's the hive battle, the dropship crashes, then they go into the complex. Nothing really happens except for really great tense scenes, especially again the special edition of them watching the auto turrets, the sentry guns count down. Then you've got the facehugger scene, and then it's the breach of the complex. Hudson gets taken out. Vasquez, gets into. Do you mean it's so? And I suppose it is relentless once the aliens breach the facility. Once they breach the complex, then it does become relentless. But that's why it's so good because it is a thrill ride.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that wraps up the Aliens episode. What do you think we should do next?
Okay, well, I'm thinking that after this, I need some counselling, so I need someone to call, and I think we're going to call Ghostbusters.
Yep. 2016?
No, not yet, not for episode 3. So right. episode 3, Ghostbusters. Does it suck? Well, of course it doesn't suck, but we'll find out why people think it sucks.
All right. Well, thanks for listening and or watching, and be sure to follow all the socials and like the pages and things like that, all on the screen now. Thank you.
Game over, man. Game over.